be examined in other trials, and it is being. We have a prospective trial underway with this diabetes outcomes as the primary at this time. Next. Another, just touch very briefly on another area that is being investigated, and that is the link between vitamin D status and colon cancer risk. There have been a number of cohort studies seeing an association here with low D levels being associated with higher colon cancer risk. Garland did a meta-analysis of these studies and came, and you see the different outcomes here, with a net maybe 20% risk reduction with D, with higher D, compared with lower D. I'm not doing that. Next. Here, there's an example of the connection between hypertension and vitamin D status. Here are the Harvard cohorts, 4 and 8 year follow-ups. What was the connection between your D level and your chance of developing hypertension? You'll see that the lower D levels had higher incident hypertension in men and women. And next. And finally, cardiovascular disease has been connected to risk. In this cohort study, we look at quartiles of 25-hydroxy-D level in relation to risk of cardiovascular mortality on the right. And the higher D group had lower death rates than the D insufficient. The higher group had a mean 25-hydroxy-D level of 71 nanomoles per liter. Go ahead. Yeah. This puts several different endpoints in one picture to give you the idea of the optimum D level. And you'll see that as you get to an area of 75, 80 nanomoles, you're getting benefit in multiple endpoints here. Next. I wanted to make a few comments about the repletion process. Next. Is there any need to do any calcium intake changes here in Thailand? This is a study done up in Chiang Mai area in men and women of different age groups. And these are calcium intake assessments. And you will see a very alarmingly low calcium intake in both young and old. I have seen data that include urban areas, and they have very similar intake levels as in the rural Thailand. So there is, according to most people's view, a almost profound insufficiency in calcium intake here. Your recommendations, depending on category of person, are in the 1,000 to 1,500 milligram range. This is a very worrisome intake level. Next. If you wanted to get people to make radical diet changes, that would be the preferred approach to increase calcium intake. No one else has been successful in that, despite numerous efforts. In the United States, trying to get children to drink more milk, trying to do this and that, have not really moved the dial very much. And the alternative approach is to use a calcium supplement. The point of this picture is that all of the calcium supplements are absorbable by and large. There's no one magical supplement. The trick is to get people to take something. Next slide. There are a couple of details about calcium supplement use that are important. With intakes as low as those in Thailand, you're going to need substantial doses of calcium if you don't see the diet change. If an individual needs a dose of more than 500 milligrams of calcium per day, 500 to 600, It is important to split the dose to get the most absorption. This is illustrated here in calcium load and absorption index. This is the amount absorbed from 500 milligrams. This is the amount absorbed from 1,000 milligrams. So in order to benefit from that second 500, you would need to take it at a different time of day. Next. Quick point about the use of calcium carbonate doing any measurements. So I think that is very reassuring. Next. What about other potential toxicities? Well, the toxicity from vitamin D is related to the hypercalcemia that it can cause when you give toxic levels of D. Hypercalcemia, of course, leads to hypercalciuria, and so kidney stones are the other thing you'd want to be looking at. So the question is, are you going to put anyone at risk of kidney stones by giving 800 units to the adult population? This is a nice examination of that question. This was a trial in which people were assigned to 800 units a day for 2 years. Then they increased the dose in year 3 to 2,000 units per day. And then had the placebo group. They measured 24-hour urine calciums repeatedly in this group of people, and you will notice that both the D and placebo groups had very similar urine calcium levels, that there was no increase in urine calcium with 800. Moreover, when they increased the dose to 2,000, there was no increase in urine calcium excretion. So in the range we are talking about, up through 2,000 units a day, there is no impact on urine calcium excretion and therefore stone risk. Now, having said that, individuals who are regular stone formers are a different group of people, and they are in a different risk category, and they need to be treated for their stone problems. But this is in the healthy general population. Next. This is an examination of the available evidence published very recently that would look at the effect of supplementation on circulating calcium levels, serum calcium. The trials that are available, these are the serum calcium values up here, in relation to 25-hydroxy-D. And so we cover the range of about 50 nanomoles per liter up through this highest point of 480 nanomoles per liter. Now, no one's recommending that. But instead of seeing calciums go up, they are absolutely steady across this range. Now, these are study mean values. They're not individual values. There is no access to the individual values in the world's literature. But if the individuals were going up, then you would expect the means to be moving up, and they are not. Next slide. So, as you may know, back in 1997, the Institute of Medicine of the National Academy of Sciences in the U.S. came up with its recommendations for a safe, tolerable upper limit and set that at 2,000 units a day.